What's happening, everybody? Back here, Action Hour, powered by EquinEdge. I'm Justin Sampson. I got Brady Klotz here with me. Just wrapped up the Louisiana Derby. How you doing, Brady? How was the week?
Hey, Justin. Hey, it wasn't too bad. Really liked how the Louisiana Derby card played out right until the end. I thought Mandaloon was going to do it for me in a huge pick three, but Hot Rod Charlie was tough to catch, and it was good to see Cone Lima run well and Travel Column, and so yeah, I'd say we did all right on that pick five. What about you?
$1,130 on the late pick five. That's 2 out of 3 shows for the viewers. Midnight Bourbon, right? My Derby future pick runs is going to be in the Derby unless something comes up. I haven't heard anything, right? I think was paying over $3,000 for that late pick five. I mean,
Amazing.
it's just crazy. I mean, I love when people hit that. I had a few people send me notes and people hit it. A guy hit it, the pick four a couple times and had the pick five. I think he spent like $130 and hit the pick four for $1 and the pick five for 50 cents. And it was awesome, man. I loved
That's
it.
awesome. It really pays to play the big days because everybody, after seeing the running of Colonel Liam and Travel Column, we could all agree those were free squares. And so essentially that pick five got turned into a pick three really quickly. And so for 50 cents, that's not very bad at all. But we've got more preps this weekend, and including the Florida Derby card, which we're going to go over today. And man, I can feel it. We're about a month away from really getting Derby fever and starting to get horses to ship into Churchill. So the next 2 to 3 weeks are very important as far as Derby points go, and we've got a big one here.
Yeah, it's I'm super pumped. Like it's going to be amazing. It's the Florida Derby is always, I feel like, a great race, and we got a good one here going. Why don't we dive in and see what we can do? Let's start with the early pick five.
Let's do it. We've got a 14 race card, so we've got we had 2 pick fives to go through and a mid pick 4. So we're going to try to get through all of these races in an hour with you guys. So hang tight. We'll go over the cards and our pick 5 plays, and then we'll spend a little bit more time on the later races, typically the last 5 for the late pick 5, as there's a great sequence there. So let's start it out.
And like I'm looking right now, and I think we actually might be broadcasting live on YouTube because we have, I think, some people that have jumped in the chat. So just for anybody who's watching, that was not the intent. We try to kind of pre-record this, but you all are totally willing to follow along. I'll try to watch the chat a little bit, but no, just for the viewers who jump on. I think I see Mo here. We're going to try to run through this, so just know that you can follow along. And can you see it, Brady?
I can. Yes, it is up live. So let's just roll with it.
we'll roll with it. So anybody who jumps on, you're getting a live pre-handicap Florida Derby card. Let's roll through it. Yeah. So Mo, join us here. You're good to follow along. We're starting with a maiden special in the first. I know we briefly talked about the sequence. We thought that the sequence might pay good. We knew this first race was going to be tough. I think we need to spread a little bit. I'm not in love with this 6. I'll have my notes up here for viewers. I think we can potentially beat it. I definitely would not single this horse. What are your thoughts here?
Absolutely. I've been on the wrong side of Shaftesbury 3 times now in a row, so I'm not willing to single this horse. You've got Irad and Pletcher and Rapoli, which, is probably one of the best connection teams at Gulfstream Park, but I see some opportunities to beat this horse. So let's try. If we're looking at EquinEdge here, the horse has kind of been a money burner. Last time out, it was 1-2 and kind of got the dream trip and just didn't kick on. And so Todd Pletcher's tried this horse at the maiden special weight level 3 times now, and he's not dropping him down any further. He thinks this horse can win, and he's been knocking on the door. But I would rather take a shot with a few other horses than this one that's had 3 chances and hasn't proven himself yet. particularly the couple of horses that stood out to me were the 8, the 11, and the 14. And the top pick that I had here, there was a Danny Gargan, Tyler Gaffleone horse in City Tavern, the 8 here. And so he had some good works leading up to this race, and Danny's been working him since the start of the year. And so, typically trainers are going to save their best horses to debut on big days like this, whether it's Pegasus Day, whether it's Fountain of Youth Day, or whether it's Florida Derby Day. He's really taken the time to get this horse ready. And so I felt like that the 8 was someone you didn't want to leave off your ticket. And the other couple of horses that I liked here was a Scotty Longshot, the 14, Seize the Dream. Barkley Tagg and Joe Bravo are teaming up. And, if you want to get paid at Gulfstream Park, Joe Bravo is your guy on the turf. He's a top 10 turf rider in the country and doesn't nearly get the respect that he does. I think they call him Jersey Joe. Is that right? Is that still even when he's down at Gulfstream? And and so he's the guy that always seems to blow up these tickets at like 15, 20 to 1. And that's what the Scotty Longshot 14 comes into play as well. And the other horse that I liked here was the number 11 War Bomber for Mark Cassie and John Velasquez. I did like a couple of works that this horse has had. And coming into this race, Cassie typically is able to hide his horses and get a decent price on the first-time starters. So I felt like it was worth trying to take a shot against Shaftesbury. If I get beat by this even money favorite, I'll move on, but I would rather take a shot against.
There's Jeffrey. Well, we got some viewers, so we'll try to loop him in here. I'm with you. I think the only other horse we should add here is the 10. I did do a little bit of research on this horse just because I saw that it was 4%. The morning line didn't love it, but I had noticed this dam before Sandra's Rose. So I looked and she drops 4 of 6 first-time starters. I like the work pattern here. Third GSR. We get Paco. I say we add the 10. We go, we'll keep the 6. We go 8, 10, 11, 14. What do you think? And then we'll move on.
That's good with me. I think 5 deep is perfect to start off this pick 5 in the first leg because I know that we are going to get a little skinnier later on.
Perfect. System is moving along. It wants to single the 1. I don't know about that. I really like the long shot here. Fellow Indiana
boys in the house. There we go.
I see that you have your crew that's joining along. What are your thoughts here? I really like the Scotty Longshot here. I think we can go slim later in a couple legs. What do you think? I did think the 1 had a shot here, but I didn't love. What are you thinking?
Absolutely. Yeah, I know you do love the Scotty Longshot here, Mozo Bello, and you found a nice angle on this horse. You want to share what that was?
Yeah, I think, you do get Scotty Longshot. I think the thing here with Mozabella, it's coming off the turf. It's been racing in a 58 SOR. Then you look back, it did run 8 furlongs here in a 58 SOR as well. Didn't run. But if you go and you look back, this horse has been facing a lot tougher. And even if you go back to late last year, won in a 56 SOR. This is a very open group. You also have the EquinEdge morning line really likes this horse at 10 to 1 versus 20 to 1. I think, and it's 8%. We're not talking 1 to 2 to 3%, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, this horse is 8% here. I think Mirage, has a shot here. I think you definitely got to use a Scotty Longshot. I think that the 1 has a shot. I like the 5 as well. And I think the 7 with some speed, I thought had a chance. So for me, I was 1, 4, 5, 7. What about you?
Absolutely. I echo all your comments on what you found there with the EE morning line being about half of the actual track's morning line. And maybe that's going to tell us where some of the money's going to go or where some of the money isn't really sure because they see the 20 to 1 morning line and they auto toss the horse off the ticket. And as we know, that's how we can get paid by including those long shots that are well overlooked. The 1 really stuck out to me here. And so you have a 9 to 2 morning line top Scotty pick, Mystical Moon. And if you know anything about Enrique Armando in the EAC racing stables, they like to win together. And when I was there over Pegasus weekend, we were sitting right next to the ownership group here. And, one of the guys gave the ticket taker at $500 right before the race went off, said, hey, put it on our horse. And they were like 20-1, and they were hooting and hollering in the winner's circle. So if these guys show up to the track, watch out, because they're there to win, and they're there to get a photo taken. Other than that, I do have a handicapping angle on this horse. I like who this horse has faced, Trapezoid. As a matter of fact, that horse just won today at Gulfstream Park. And not only did he win, he won going away, and he won his last start going away. And so we ought to look at recent form and who these other horses has faced, because if you have some horses that are running second, running third, and you look and see that they're getting beat by winners that come back next time out, that's a huge angle to upgrade a horse. And at 9-2, I really like the price of Mystical Moon. The other horses that you had mentioned were the 5 Zonic and the 7 Apocalypse, or how do you say that one? I don't know. That's Peter Walder, Corey Lannery. Yeah. So I felt like I was comfortable going 4 deep there. The only other horse that I think I would add, and I'm a little hesitant to do it because Edgar Zayas is just really having a hard time getting his horses across the winner's circle. But the 10, Candy Crush him, if you're going to go in a deep ticket, I would add the 10 in there. But I'm definitely comfortable with the 4 that we had mentioned, the 1, 5, 7, and 5. 1, 5, 4, 7. Sorry.
And the only thing for viewers and everybody who's listening, hey, Joey, I think I might have clicked the wrong stream. So you're getting us live this week. I think that I probably clicked the stream for Saturday. So apologies. No, we're going to try to cruise through and just do Gulfstream tonight, guys. We try to keep this around an hour. So I think Mike or somebody jumped on for us to kind of manage comments, maybe Scotty. I appreciate it. So apologies. I'm with you. For viewers, I think everybody listening, many of you, I think, know this. The outside post on one-turn sprints is so hard at Gulfstream. You have to be so much the best. I put it up here in my notes. Anything 8+ for posts on the outside going one turn is less than 5%. So, you do get a bottom claimer here, but I can see your thoughts with the 10. I just a lot of times just cut the horses off. Just get rid of them. So let's lock in 1, 4, 5, 7. We'll lock that in. We'll regenerate. It continually wants to single along the way. I know we talked before this. We really liked a horse here in leg 3. Let's walk through this one, see if we can narrow a little bit since we both like the same horse. What are you thinking?
Absolutely. We had nice bit of coverage here in the first couple of races going 5x4. So now it's time to really get this thing honed in so we can see how we're going to get paid later in this leg. I ended up landing on 4 horses here with a top pick in the 5, La Liberté. This is the Mark Casse horse that John Velasquez is going to be riding. And I like that this horse is breaking kind of mid-pack and can really set the trip that he wants to. The horse does show speed early, but it doesn't have to be on the lead. And so I think that's going to be – he's going to absolutely trip out. The horse that I think is going to get overbet is the number 4 World Tour. And he's only had 1 start, and his start was super impressive for Bill Mott and Junior Alvarado. But if we look at the SORs here, he's coming out of a 48 SOR. And if you look at the rest of the field, that is about 20 points less than the 7 and the 5. And so if we're going to take a look at how strong of the field that the 4 faced last time out, it could have been just a walk in the park. So I don't necessarily want to trust this favorite.
I'm with you. I mean, these are the situations, and you'll see in my note, we didn't talk a lot about this, is that, and Greg over here likes La Liberté as well. I mean, we're with you, Greg. I thought this horse was so vulnerable, and these are the horses. I just don't even put them on my ticket. So, I think we really like the 5. I'm fine tossing this horse. If we think we need to put it on, I'm fine as well. These are the situations, though, where I do toss favorites because to me, I want coverage elsewhere. Like if I don't think the horse can win, if I think maybe it can beat me, maybe. But when I want to beat it, I just toss him. We're obviously including the 5. What else do we need here? I know we're going to go a little bit slim in the next couple legs because we think we have some thought process on a few horses. What else do we want to add here?
We're going to add the other 2 horses that I think are going to take some money, and they just happen to have the last name Ortiz riding them. Both of them. The 1, Coworth Park, and then the 7, I Get It. Calworth Park is Pletcher Ortiz. And so when you're going a mile on the turf, you don't want to leave these guys off of your ticket. And I think the 1 can kind of speak to where he's going to sit a nice trip. And, Irad has his choice of who he's going to ride in here. The 7 was, I think the 7 could vie for favoritism. If you look at who this horse faced, in his last race, he faced Spanish Love Affair and Cone Lima. And as we all know, Spanish Love Affair won that race, and we all took a pretty bad hit on that disqualification. And Cone Lima ended up getting put up and was off the pace that day in a horse that usually needs the lead. Well, guess what race Cone Lima is in? She's in race 12 in the Florida Oaks on the dirt.
I can't wait till we get there. Sorry, I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah. So I was 4 deep here. I went 1, 4, 5, 7, and I felt like I was very comfortable with that.
What were your thoughts on the 3 coming out of that same race with Cone Lima, the grade 3, where the 3 ran well? Why take the 7, get rid of the 3? I'm fine, whatever we want to do. I'm also fine tossing the 4 if we want to add the 3 or 8. What were your thoughts, though, on the 3 Joy of Painting?
My angle on the 3 is that I like Joe Bravo at 15-1, not 5-1.
Makes sense. Yeah, and the system isn't really loving it. So we going 3 or 4 deep here? I know we are thinking try to go 4 and see if we can get this ticket through.
I think so. Let's try 4 here and see what we can do in the next race. I think we can go pretty skinny in this 8.5 furlong non-graded stakes for mares.
So it's going to, if we go 4 deep there, for an $80 ticket, it's going to make us single in one of the next 2 legs.
Okay.
If we like, I know that, let's talk through this one. We can figure out what to do. I think, I think we only need 1 or 2 horses here. What were your thoughts?
I thought it was a 2 to 3 horse race, and I'm really against the 6. Now, Sleep Melania is the class of the field. She had a really, really good success in her early races, but most recently, I felt like she has kind of fallen off a little bit, and I'm not sure if I can trust her. And a lot of times, you'll see these horses dominate when they're 2 and even into their early 3-year-old season, but once these mares turn 4, it's a different story. And some of them decide that they don't want to run anymore and just want to become moms at the farm, which is totally okay. Typically, you see that in mares more than you do, maybe on the colt side. It just depends on the situation. My top pick here was the 3, Sweet By and By. This is a Safi Joseph horse that Irad's going to get on, and man, does this horse trip out. This horse is going to go right to the lead and not look back. It's going to be, you got to catch me if you can type of race. And so I felt like the 3 was going to go, and I felt like Jose is going to be chasing his brother Irad this time around on Sweet Melania.
Well, I'm with you. We have a rail at 120 feet in this 4th race. She's speed. The 6 is also speed. I'm fine singling here. I do think the 6 has a shot. I think for anybody watching currently or viewers, if you want to play a little bit bigger, maybe you cut in the 3rd leg. We really like the 5. You could add the 3 and 6 here, and we go to the last. I think we're going to single or go 2 deep in the last, but let's single.
One more thought on that race is I want to look at the 5 real quick, Abscond, because if we look at back class, this horse lost to Sharing and beat Past the Plate last time out, our single last week in the pick 5 over at Fairgrounds. And so, obviously this horse has had a hard time getting across the winner's circle first since September of 2019 was her last win. But, that's a back class thing. So maybe use the 5 underneath because she doesn't like to win races, but man, she does bring her best stuff every single time.
Yeah, and you're getting an almost year layoff. I mean, Keenly does well on the layoff, though. I know you get Tyler. I like, you're getting a second-time starter here with the 3 who ran really well. The 6 also coming off a layoff. I mean, I like singling the 3 here. I mean, you're getting a horse. You get Irad. I mean, you can't ask for a better jock. So we'll single Sweet Bye-Bye here. We'll move to the last, and then I think we'll talk the 6 race. Then we're going to go the middle pick 4. Viewers, you're getting a live show. Wasn't expected, so welcome. We're going to try to cruise through this in a little over an hour. Let's move to the last. I narrowed here. I thought that Basin could be tough, is coming off a big layoff. A lot of layoffs in the card on Saturday. The only other horse, and I had a few here, I thought the 3 Scotty Longshot was very interesting for a few reasons. This horse, all of its wins have come sprinting. 3 of the 4 have come at 7 furlongs. I believe 3 of the 4 have come with Jaramillo. And a lot of people think, hey, Jaramillo's got to go to the front. And I say, yes, that is traditionally true. This horse is tactical, though. This horse has shown it can rate a few times. I looked in the past running lines. It ran into 72 SOR here at 7 furlongs at Tampa in won by a couple lengths. So I think this horse has a shot. For me, I would go 2 deep here with the 3 and 7. What were your thoughts?
I think this race revolves around if Todd Pletcher can have Basin ready off of this layoff. Let's look at how this horse has improved since he's left the Steve Asmussen barn. He went to Pletcher and finishes second in the Grade 2 Amsterdam. To who? Yopan, who is running in Dubai in the sprint against Matera Sky on Saturday morning. I'll be tuning in. And if Yopan wins that race on Saturday morning, you know that Basin might be live. And so I felt like it's one of those things, if he does not need a race, this could be a potential single. But if there are any questions, he hasn't ran since August 29th at Saratoga last year. That's a really long layoff. And so I like where you're thinking, because Shivery's going to be tactical, or he's going to be all out guns blazing on the lead. And so if he gets loose, as we know that the Gulfstream dirt course and turf are so speed favoring that it could just be like a merry-go-round or a conveyor belt. If Basin's ready, he'll win this race. If he's not, I think Shivery might be able to go.
Well, there's our ticket for everybody who's tuning in live. $80, early pick 5. You heard a few notes. There's potential that, if you want a single Basin here, you can add some coverage in the 4th. You can also, maybe go slimmer in the 3rd. I know some of us really love the 5 horse. That's probably one of my best bets of the day. I have a good one again later, but I love La Liberty. Let's move on. There's the early pick 5. We got through that in about 20 minutes. We were thinking about 15, so not bad. I know we had a viewer that laughed at the hour comment, and I applaud that, because we came nowhere close last week. We're going to try better this week. It's hard with these 14 race cards, and I think I like covering the whole thing, but it's tough. Let's quickly talk the 6th race. I think I really liked a couple horses here. Rail Out again on the inner turf at 60 feet. What were your thoughts?
I thought this was another question mark race, because there's a horse that sneaks in here at the bottom of the page named Seismic Wave that's now in the Chad Brown barn, coming over from Bill Mott. And this horse has been in a ton of good races. And so what concerns, this horse is raced against Some Like It Hot Brown, a bunch of Chad Brown horses, Olympico, Monarch's Glen, Therapist, all winners. And so DeMarchelier, Digital Age, Henley's Joy, Social Paranoia, Thread of Blue. I'll stop right there. This horse has class. But trainer switch. Where's Chad Brown been? Has he been hiding under a rock? I can't find him. I don't know. It seems like it's been an eternity since he's entered a horse. And with us being so close to Keeneland, that's Chad's meat. And so I'm a little bit skeptical of this 8, which is going to take a ton of money. And so who else is better off of 60 to 180-day layoffs than Chad Brown? Not very many people, but it's kind of like a buyer beware on this 8 horse. And so I think he may take a lot of money. He may be the favorite. He's a 3-to-1 morning line. But I'll tell you what, if you've got to take around 3-2 to even money on this horse, good luck.
Yeah, the 3 is the morning line favorite at 9-5. I didn't love this horse at first. I liked it. I wasn't sure on the 8. The 8 did just get gelded. I really like the 4, and the system just loves this 4 horse. 9-5. And the morning line is 7-2. This is, and I have a good bet later in a 4 horse. I really liked Ever Dangerous here. I know that this horse is coming second off a layoff, which I really liked. This horse has some really good back class and SORs. You know, the Hall of Fame last summer at Saratoga broke awful against Domestic Spending and Don Juan Kitten. This $150,000 Keeneland Stakes race faced Fancy Liquor, Bye Bye Melvin, and Pixelate, who's been running a ton lately that we've been watching, and won at a 70 SOR. I think the 4 is going to run big. It is Edgar Zayas, and I know you said he's ice cold, and maybe he'll break out here. I thought the 3 had a chance. Those were kind of my top 2. I thought the 3 and 4. I didn't love the Scotty Longshot 5. I mean, I can see it a little bit, but for me, I thought this was the 3-4. I'm trying to beat Chad Brown here on the 8, and I thought that for me, I'm probably playing a 3-4 exacta box or a 4 over the 3.
This is a race where you either hammer an opinion or you just skip it. Nothing wrong with passing a race every once in a while. I know our friend Jeff Wilson, he says that Seismic Wave is his best bet of the day. And I'll tell you what, I hope you're right, Jeff. I hope you're right. And, you know, if anybody could have this horse ready to fire, the 8's either going to win for fun or he's going to miss the board. That's my opinion. And so we just don't know what to expect. But good luck to whatever. And he said he's a first-time gelding and a positive trainer switch. So all good signs there. It's not in a pick 4 or pick 5 sequence, so I'll probably be skipping the race, but I might regret that.
Yeah, and you get Irad too, so I mean you can't beat that. All right, no sequence there for viewers. We're gonna move to race 7. We're gonna do I can't remember what our pick 4s have been. 45, 50?
About 45 to $50. Yeah.
Let's do 45. Middle pick 4 here. Ticket generator really wants to. Oh, I thought this race. I don't even know what to do here.
Can we hit the all button?
I'm like, this is like one of the toughest maiden specials I looked at in a long time. Mm-hmm. Other than I'm like, I'm glad we have EquinEdge and the GSR because the horses that I thought might be the top horses were some of the top GSR horses. And the 9, the 5, and the 10. I think you need some coverage here. If somebody's going to go slim, though, with the system, I didn't love the 2, but I think, I don't know, you take the top 3 to 4 GSR horses and maybe you move on. The only other, the 1 was a price play. It is on the rail. It is Chad Brown, first-time starter, though, who's got Castellano riding. And then the 2, actually, I thought ran well in this first, and it was a 58 SOR maiden special, and actually ran a good race. So for me, I'm probably going 4 to 6 deep. Anybody you loved here, or what are your thoughts?
I thought this was a race that could potentially be a superstar American heiress in the 9, but it's another favorite that I don't want to single, and I don't want to take at a short price. And so I ended up going 5 deep here. And if we can beat a few of these favorites that are going to be even money, 7 to 5, this is how we can really blow up the tote board. I went 1, 3, 5, 9, 10. And so the 9 being the top choice, it was almost a $700,000 Keeneland purchase out of American Pharoah. So it must be respected right off the bat, just based off of a pedigree play. And American Pharaohs have liked the turf better than the dirt, it seemed, in the last 2 years. And so I used the 9. I used the 1 Badger Kitten. That's a Chad Brown first-time starter. He gets Castellano. It's a Kitten's Joy. And so, you don't want to get beat by Chad. I think you either have to ride with Chad or you have to ride Chad defensively. And so, and I don't know what to expect from him right now because we haven't seen much. There was a horse that the system was a little bit iffy on, but I felt like if we were going deep, it was worth a shot to include the 3 community adjusted. This is the Klotz starter for the Tyler Gaffleon's going to ride. And last time out really didn't show much, kind of was just a merry-go-round race, but I'm going to give him a second chance as well. I used the 5, No Ordinary Time. This is Julian Lamperoux for Shug McGahee, and I like Julian on the front end. And when Julian wants to just go, absolutely gung-ho to the front end and not look back, he's pretty dangerous. And I think that you're going to get a little bit of a mid-price on this horse. He was a 6 to 1 morning line, but the top win percentage in the EquinEdge system at 24%. And so I like his running style in the Gulfstream Park turf course. He's either going to be on or near the lead, and we know that's paramount at this place. The 9 speaks for himself, and then the 10 was the last one that I used. That was the Irad in Pletcher. This horse has had 5 tries, and so I'm not really sure what they're doing right now. But, you know, I didn't want to get beat by this horse either. You know, how would you feel if you left Ortiz off of your ticket?
A lot of people did last weekend in the Louisiana Derby, late pick 5, which we did add. Summer of Saratoga.
Summer at Saratoga.
It was like 13 to 1. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And the interesting thing was here is that there's an also eligible horse. It's the 13, I believe, Never at All. It's for Mark Cassie, and Irad's also listed on that horse. So it'll be important the morning of to check scratches and see which one Irad gets placed on. That's the one you want.
Yeah, I'm with you. Well, let's roll with the 1, 3, 5, 9, 10. I'm totally with you. I mean, we at least, you know, I think we need coverage. We're going to take out the 13 for anybody watching live or viewers. Definitely follow Irad, the 13 horse. Follow, what did we say? He's on the 1? No. Irad is
He's on the 10 or the 13.
The 10. Yeah.
The 13's the also eligible Cassie horse that could draw into the field. So it'll be interesting to see if he jumps off of a Pletcher or if he stays on. I think that'll tell us who we need to use at that time.
All right, we're going to move on. Leg 2, race 8. Yep, the Ghost Zapper Stakes. Looks like I liked a couple horses here. What were you thinking? I narrowed a little bit, but I'm looking just kind of at my notes. What were you thinking here?
I love 2 horses here. I love the 1 Last Judgment, and I love the 6 War Stopper. Okay, and I've divorced a few horses in this race, and so I have an automatic play against Eye of the Jedi. He helped me out on Pegasus Day, but him and I are done now. I just don't think that he wants to go 9 furlongs. And so I'm sorry I had to serve him papers, but he's not going to get on my paper ticket on Saturday. I went Last Judgment and War Stopper, the 1 and the 6. And what I liked about Last Judgment is that he's going to go out and grab the lead. And Mike Maker going long, whether it's on the dirt or the turf, you better beware. Because how often does he just get into these 1.25 mile races, 1 1/8 mile, 1.5 mile, anything going long 2 turns? Mike Maker is a must-use for me on my ticket. And I also liked the 6 horse War Stopper. I think that this horse sits right behind the 1. And if the 1 breaks bad, the 6 is going to be the one that goes out and grabs the lead. And I think this horse has been improving every single start of late. He ran into a little bit of a tough crowd over at Tampa in a grade 3 last time out. But I think if he's going to turn the tables, it's going to be because Irad's on this horse now riding against his brother on the 1. And so we'll see kind of what tactics are in play there, where both Ortiz brothers are on speed horses. Which one's going to go and which one's going to set off? I'm guessing the 1's going to go because he's on the rail and he has no choice. And the outside horse, the 6, is probably going to sit just off. So I see these horses going right around the track and not much lead changing.
You know, there's a lot of speed in this race. It's funny. We're on completely different horses. I could see both those horses. I like this 3 as a massive long shot. It's not even the Scotty long shot, but the system does not like this horse. It is 6. It's only 6%. A few things with this horse though. It is going to come late, and the 1, 4, 6, 7 all have speed. I think that you're going to end up seeing a bit of a speed duel. I think this horse can pick up the pieces. The thing about here is that Just Whistle has run very well at 9 furlongs and run really well at Gulfstream. Won at a 70 SOR and in a grade 3 got second last year. You know, is second off the layoff, was in way too tough here in the allowance race, you know, and I do have the race SOR. And so for viewers watching, I had Scotty ship that over to us so we could use it kind of in the show. It's not live yet. This is a 66 SOR, and he's shown the test site. Just Whistle is coming out of mid-70s, like mid-70s. This is a massive drop for this horse, and you're getting a huge pace setup here. I love this horse as a long shot. I wish it was a Scotty long shot, and I would probably bet the farm on this thing, and maybe it will be on Saturday. I also thought that the 4 had a shot, lightly raced. This horse is stepping up. Superfecto. I don't know here. I mean, I didn't love Violent City, the Scotty Long shot. I wasn't really sure. I wasn't sure if this horse would get the distance based on the GSR. I think we need the 3. So why don't we go at least 1, 3, 6? I'm okay maybe chopping the 4, or maybe we add the 4 as well. I was 3, 4. You're 1, 6. Why don't we add all 4? And let's see if we can narrow later. I'm okay to come back and cut the 4, but I think we need the 3.
Absolutely. If we think it's going to be a pace collapse, then you're going to have some horses running late, and the 3 and the 2 are going to be one of the ones running late. And so we'll have to see how the race shapes up and everything. That's kind of why I like the 6, because I felt like the 6 could be somewhat tactical. And so if Laperouse sends, if Jose Ortiz sends, and Jaramillo is going to send because he does it every time it seems, you could have 3 horses up there really just burning each other's wheels, and then somebody's going to be sitting there ready to pounce at the end. So yeah,
Yes.
let's go ahead and move forward then and see where we can get to. I believe we're on to race 9 now.
Yeah, and it wants to single here. Let me peek at race 10 real quick, which was the grade 2 Pan American. Okay, I remember that race. Okay, it wants to single here. I don't know if we can single here. Probably not. I don't think so. Although, actually, this is one of my best bets of the day, actually. So I don't know where you're at, but
it's not the 7. I hope it is not. I hated the 7 here.
I love Summer to Remember here, and this is Irad Ortiz. This horse has been facing much better. This colt, when you look in mid to high 70 SORs, has speed close to the pace. The rail is out. You have Irad Fletcher. I think this horse wins. I mean, I hope we get 4-1. I don't see it happening. I really love the 4 here. For me, I would single in my ticket. I don't think we maybe need to here. That would be my single. I don't really care about the other horses. I don't think this race is super easy. I think it's competitive, but I really like that horse here. I am using the race SOR from EquinEdge, though. Again, I have it in my notes for viewers. Scotty gave it to us before the show. It's showing a 68. So again, similar angle as that last race. Summer to Remember has been facing much better and just missing here. And you have Irad Fletcher. I know it's a bit of a layoff. I'm okay. It's not massive. So for me, that's a horse I love here. It's probably my best bet of the day through the whole card. There's a couple other horses. One we've already talked about, or 2. What else did you like here?
Love your 4. I love the 4 along with the 5 and the 11. And the 11 just happened to be the Scotty Longshot Noble Indy. And so let's talk about Noble Indy real quick. Look who the new trainer is, Safi Joseph Jr. He claimed him off of Todd Pletcher, and this horse was on the downtrend. I mean, if you look at his last races, he got put into some pretty good company. And so, he was racing against horses like Digital Age. And I remember this horse back when he was a 3-year-old. And so all of a sudden, the horse is on the downturn, gets claimed off of Pletcher, now in the Joseph barn, and wins first time out pretty impressively. And so then he upgrades him into, this allowance company against the who's who, of this level. I thought with Paco aboard, we couldn't afford to leave this horse off, and he's 10-1 on the morning line. And I'll tell you what, Paco loves winning when he's a price, especially on the Gulfstream turf. The other horse that I liked was the 5 Chocolate Bar. This is Tyler Gaffleon's up for Mike Maker, and I was actually at Gulfstream Park in person for this last race, and I was impressed. I didn't have Chocolate Bar in my ticket that day, and I vowed next time that he ran, I'd have him on mine. And so I just think that the race sets up with a little bit of speed in there with the 7 Sayoff, or should I say a lot of speed. There's going to be some pace to close into. And Sayoff started off his career as a sprinter, and now they've got him going long. And last time Sayoff had an uncontested lead, he was able to do it all his own way on the front end. I don't think it's going to be as easy as it was a walk in the park last time for this 7 horse, but he's going to be favored. He's going to be the favorite in this race. And I love your point on the 4. summer to remember. Irad's not going to be the favorite. I don't think so. That's the best time to bet Irad, when he's not the favorite, when you get 4-1. Let's hope that stands.
And Jay's asking Irad who, just must be messing around. Irad Ortiz Jr. Probably by far best jock in the country, I would say. I know some people are a little bit frustrated with him because he might be a little bit too aggressive. I get it, but he's such a great jock. So I'm fine tossing the 7. We are going to toss the favorite here. You're right with the speed. I had the 2 also speed. I think the 2 was cheap speed, if I remember correctly, or maybe just speed that I don't think will hold. And then your 11 long shot. Why don't if we go 4-11, you like the 5? Are we gonna get coverage? Yeah. We had I didn't lock the second race. Give me a second. The second race we had 1, 3. Yeah, that's right. So let's see
1, 3, 6.
Yeah, we might. I think we're gonna toss the 4 there, and we're gonna get 2 horses in the last race. We don't find a single, but I really like this sequence here. We're gonna have to somehow narrow here. What were your thoughts here in the Pan American? This is a great 12 furlong, grade 2 on the turf. What are you thinking?
I was 2 option 3 deep here. The 2 that I had to use were the 1 and the 7. You have Cross Border and Moon Over Miami. The third choice, if you're going to go a little bit deeper on the ticket, was the 8 Churn and Burn. Now let's talk about Cross Border here, the 1. This horse won. I remember when I was at Gulfstream in person 2 years ago on Pegasus Day. My buddy Alec had a pick 3 ticket, and he was new to horse racing, and he was singled the Cross Border, and Jose just couldn't quite get him across the line, and Spooky Channel came at 35-1 and kind of ruined the day for him, but he'll never forget that. Anyway, this horse is the other maker in the race. Temple is probably going to get a lot of attention, but if you've been following the 2 Temple of late, the horse just hangs. He gets into the stretch, he's looming up on the outside, and Irad's getting after him and scrubbing him, but he's just not going anywhere. He doesn't respond in the stretch. And so I would like to see Temple go a little bit shorter than this distance of 12 furlongs. Cross Border, this is his forte. And what did we talk about earlier? Mike Maker going long on the turf. 1.5 mile race, that's who I want on my ticket here. And I know that I like the 7 Moon Over Miami. Do you want to take over that one? I know that was a top pick for you as well.
It was. I love Moon Over Miami here. I think top GSR has never gone. Second GSR with the system likes the 3, so we'll have to talk about 3 at some point. Lightly raced horse. I have a lot of notes on this horse, mainly because I've done a lot of research. I do have some comments on questionable races, and then some good races. Questionable races. Good race. Horse didn't run. And then in the most recent race, 66 SOR ran really good here. First off, a layoff, 11 furlongs, stretching out to 12 for Mott Alvarado, which from a combination standpoint, I just love. I love Mott on the turf. Love Alvarado. He's just been riding great this year. And the horse has not gone 12 furlongs. And I think that Moon Over Miami is going to love this trip. I've bet a bunch on Temple, and I mean, I'm with you. So we're going to take Temple off. I actually had originally really loved Cross Border, so I'm with you there. So we're 1-7. That's a $45 ticket, I think, for viewers. I'm going to nix that. We're going to add the 7. If somebody wanted to play a little bit bigger ticket, I think you can play for it's about $67.50. What's the third horse that you add here in the last leg?
I go to the 8 Churn and Burn. And so this is another scenario where you have Ian Wilkes and Julian Laperoux, and for some reason they just like to win at a decent price on these stake days. And I'm looking at the horses that this one's beat, and this horse beat Sham Rocket, who is going to be racing up at Tampa in a stakes race on Sunday. And so, one more thing on Moon Over Miami. The horse has been in great company too. His race against Gufo, beat or lost a Tie to the Sea, who won on Pegasus Day, and then Phantom Currency. And so I think the class that Moon of Our Miami and Churn and Burn coming out of is going to be fantastic. And the horse took a step forward, the 8 last time out. And so if that horse takes another step forward again today or on Saturday, watch out for a deep ticket on the 8.
And you're right here. And Churn and Burn's going to like this longer distance. I mean, look at that stretch out to 12 furlongs and 1 going away in a 64 SOR. I mean, I'm with you. Ken, since we're live, you had asked about the 11 being that far out in race 9. I mean, it is a little bit of a concern. The only thing I would say about that is that this horse has speed. So it is an 8 furlong race. I know that EquinEdge shows kind of a sprint being kind of on the picture up here. So I think that the horse, Noble Indy, with having speed, likely can, with speed, get over and get a good position. It's a good point, though, from a concern perspective.
And Paco, who's maybe the most aggressive rider, he'll force his way over if he has to.
Yeah, you're right. So I think that's where, and there's some serious speed in here. So Paco's sending from the 11 hole. So there's our pick 4. I know we're kind of spread. I think this is a difficult sequence. Many of you heard from me. I'm going to play this, and I'm singling Summer to Remember in the 3rd leg, and my ticket's going to be cheaper and maybe add some coverage elsewhere. I think that's an option for viewers. I really like the 4 horse there. So why don't we, we're 45 minutes in. We might not keep it to an hour, but it's going to be a lot closer than last week because we're hitting up the late pick 5 now, starting with race 10.
Yes.
Which we just talked about. We just talked about that. So we're going to do $80. What, we want to go 3 deep here or 2 deep? What are you thinking?
I would say that we could start 3 deep. Let's start 3 deep and see where we get. We could always work backwards.
Yeah, and keep up the fight. No 3 in the 10th. We didn't talk about Sadler's Joy. We talked, was it 2 weekends ago on Rebel Stakes Day about Whitmore, Warrior of a Horse. We all love Whitmore. We all love Sadler's Joy too. I mean, Sadler's Joy has brought probably a lot of us joy throughout the years and made some money. I just think, Scotty said, a little long in the tooth last time Sadler's Joy ran in the grade 3. I think this race sets up for an up-and-coming horse. I just think Sadler's Joy is a little bit long in the tooth, as Scotty would say. And I think between the 7, Cross Border, as you could say, also a bit of an older horse, but running really well. Sadler's Joy maybe on the decline is all I would say. So keep up the fight. That's probably the only reason. Brady, any thoughts on Sadler's Joy?
Yeah, Sadler's Joy is a toss for me and was a toss for me in the McKnight on Pegasus Day as well. The horse just walks out of the gate, has some of the lowest early speed of any horse that you'll ever see. And at Gulfstream Park, with the bias of you either have to be on or stalking, you cannot be coming from 20 lengths back like Sadler's Joy likes to run. If this race was at Saratoga in the summer or Belmont, Keeneland, anywhere but Gulfstream Park, I would say Sadler's Joy is a must-use, but not under these circumstances tomorrow.
Good point. Another good point. Love it. We're only 4 races left, man, and we're at under 50 minutes.
We might keep it to right around an hour. So send us your questions. Let us know who you like in the last couple races of the day. You know, we got the Florida Derby to cover, the Oaks, and a couple more. But yeah, let's go 3 deep in this first leg of the pick 5 and then see what we can come up with. In race 7, we've got a pretty heavy favorite, I think, that you're going to get in the 6. She's a 5-2 morning line starting out, but I think she's going to be odds on. This was a race where I thought, how can I beat this favorite? Am I a little off in thinking that maybe this is just a single and move on? Or can we get a little creative here and add 3 or 4 horses that might give us the opportunity to blow up this ticket a little bit? And so the more and more I looked at the race, I'm not really sure how strong are the races that Annex is coming out of. Looks like she's a 72 SOR. So the system thinks that she's faced some pretty stout company. but didn't really have to work that hard. And she kind of just sat her trip, got into quite a bit of pace. I mean, if you look at the race on February 27th, they went 22 and 44 in the Palm Beach, going a mile and a 16th. And she sat like in 6th and then just waited and went. And so, she's kind of had the dream set up a couple of times now. I want to see what happens when she has to face horses that can sustain on the front end. And so I had a couple horses that I looked at. The one, Hyper Focus, that's Irad and Pletcher. Here they are again. I love handicapping on EquinEdge because I don't get to see who the jockey or the trainer is, or even the name of the horse while I'm looking at it. I'm just looking at numbers, and then I pop it up. Oh, there it is, Irad and Pletcher again. As a matter of fact. And so I'm going to use the one here. I thought that the 5-horse King of Dreams was interesting. They tried this horse at the Tampa Bay Derby. So they debuted on dirt. That didn't work out. They went over to turf to break its maiden and immediately sent back to dirt to run in the Tampa Bay Derby. I mean, what a step up in class that was. Now they're coming back to the turf in a non-graded stakes. I think this might be a good spot for this 5-horse. You get Jaramillo, who is going to be aggressive. And if you look at how she won her last race, she went right to the lead and never looked back. And so I am not going to get beat by this 5. I think this 5 at 9-2 is a good price play. The other horse that I wanted to take a look at was the 8-horse Step Dancer. This is Barclay Tag. You get a jockey upgrade to Jose Ortiz. This horse lost to Fire at Will on, let's see here, in the Pilgrim, who went on to win a Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf race at Keeneland last year. And so this horse, has raced against some pretty good company. I like the 8-horse at 6-1. The other horse I could use is Lucky Law. This is the 4-horse Patrick Biancone. Another one, Candyman Rocket, which is one of a higher regarded horses for Chad Pletcher, and unfortunately didn't send into the Florida Derby because Pletcher's running Known Agenda. But I thought that this 4 maybe had some run in him based off of who he's faced and the chances that they've taken with the connection on trying to get this horse placed. So I ended up going 5 deep here. And I could trim it down if we needed to, but did you have any deflections or thoughts on those horses that I named?
I did not love the 6, and I to be honest with you, I feel like if we're going 4 to 5 something deep, I think we toss the 6-horse. To be honest with you, I just don't like it. I mean, you'll see my notes. I mean, I didn't love its maiden special. It did come back and he did win a stakes race there, so I have to give it some credit because that note was prior to the race. But I mean, it's going to be even money. It's only 26%. I mean, the problem is I think if you don't single, I think this race is wide open. I see that Jay really likes the 7. I'm with you here on It Can't Be Done. The system loves this horse. 7-1 morning line versus 20-1. Some comments on this horse. So It Can Be Done ran at Belmont on a yielding turf course in a 72 SOR. This race is a tough race. Ran 5th. It's got speed, and Jaramillo on the 5 has speed, and I have a note that the 3 might have speed as well. With that said, here was sprinting last, stretches back out, wants to go long. You have Castellano here, second off the layoff. I don't think you can sleep on this horse. I think this horse could definitely surprise. I get the 8. You'll see how, I have tons of notes. Actually, I really like the 8. Now looking at my little stars, I guess the 8 was kind of my top pick here since Step Dancer coming off a layoff. But running, Barclay Tag, like you said, running very tough, ran really tough in the Pilgrim. I'm fine narrowing. For me, it was probably 7-8-1. The 2 is Scotty Longshot. I see the 5. I don't love the 6. I don't know. What do we do?
I think we can use all the ones we named and still be under budget. I really do. I think the card gets a little skinny in the next couple races. And so I felt like we were able to maybe use 5 or 6 horses in this leg under an $80 budget.
So I like the 7-8. You like the 8. Are we keeping the 6 or are we tossing the favorite?
Let's keep the 6 because
Okay.
I think the 6 is the most likely winner of this
Okay.
race. But I also felt like it was the most vulnerable favorite to beat. And when you're dealing with these younger 3-year-olds, I would rather go skinnier in like a 4-year-old race or something like that, or like a graded stakes where these horses are still trying to figure out who they actually are and what they're best at. And so we have horses switching back from dirt back to the turf and vice versa. And so, I mean, if this was us, and I think we can do it under the budget, let's go 1 with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and see how the ticket comes out.
Are we tossing the Scotty long shot, even though we're going 7 deep? No 2?
I didn't like Fighting Force here. And so, and the reason why is because I just think that this horse is going to be bottled up on the inside. And Corey Lannery, more times than not this meet at Gulfstream, has either fired up that rail or has gotten his horse steadied. And so I didn't really like the 2 that much. I mean, he's just going to sit right in behind. And if you look at some of the horses that he's faced, I don't really like what they've done going forward in their next races. So I think we're fine going 6 deep there.
All right, we're moving on to race 12.
All right,
fillies, the Gulfstream Park Oaks, where Cone Lima shows up, and I'm like, what just happened? Why is Cone Lima running in the Oaks, routing on the dirt? What am I seeing here?
I texted my buddy right when the PPs come out. And we've got this group text called Horse Talk. I don't know. We change it every other day. But anyway, it's a few of my best friends, and all we do is talk racing all day, every day. It's fantastic. I said the PPs came out, and my buddy's like, I'm singling Cone Lima in the 12th. And I said, I'm tossing him. And I didn't look yet. I didn't know what the races were. I thought this race was on turf, and I didn't know it was the Oaks. I haven't even looked at the program yet or EquinEdge. And I'm like, oh, this race is on dirt? Shoot. What if Cone Lima likes the dirt? We don't know that yet. Cone Lima could love the surface change. We don't know. What is the GSR Plus say?
Look at GSR Plus. I mean, I personally don't like it from a surface and when you look. So to talk about surface with Cone Lima, I mean, look at Cone Lima here running on the dirt, sprinting. It sprinted back, now stretching out, going 2 turns. So from a GSR perspective, was in the kind of mid to high 70s. So Cone Lima, she ran in a 68 SOR, was in the slop, I guess, finished second in a 70 SOR stakes race, finished second, all sprinting. So you go to GSR Plus on the dirt, Cone Lima likely can run both surfaces, definitely has shown to run better on turf though, right? When you look here, I don't know. I mean, seems to have a better GSR Plus sprinting than going 2 churns. When you do look back, Cone Lima has run great 2 churns going on the turf on the front end. And so what's going to happen here? I mean, Irad sending Cone Lima, right? I mean, I don't know. I did not love Cone Lima here. I'm with you. I really like the 3, Crazy Beautiful, Scotty's second choice. Coming out of very tough races, second off the layoff for Kenny McPeak. For me, I liked better than Cone Lima. There's no way I would single Cone Lima here because you have no idea, can Cone Lima run here on the dirt going 2 churns?
Here's my question is, who else is going to go with the 1? I felt like this was kind of a paceless race. So even if maybe Cone Lima isn't the best on the dirt, I think she could maybe just steal this race on the front end by accident, just because she's going to inherit the lead. She's breaking from the 1 hole, so she's going to send. I also love the 3, Crazy Beautiful in this race. And Ken McPeak, he's a hard guy for me to figure out. He's one of those guys where I've always had a hard time getting on the right side of. And so, Swiss Skydiver was that horse for me last year. I tried to beat her all the time, and she'd beat me back. And then when I tossed her in the Preakness and, tried to include her in the Breeders' Cup, it came back to bite me a little bit. But, this horse he's taken his time with, and has had plenty of starts and has faced some really tough competition. This horse beat Travel Column not too long ago. And so I think Travel Column's the Oaks winner. How can I not love Crazy Beautiful that's beat her? Now, granted, that was late last year at Keeneland, but hey, this is a new year. She's had time to mature, time to grow, time to work. And so I think that the 3 is the horse to beat, but the 1 was a must include for me in case she inherits the lead and goes gate to wire on easy fractions.
Yeah, I had a wire to wire note there for myself on Conlima as well. Maybe the 4 or 6 can improve. I don't know. I mean, I thought that this was between the 1 and 3. The system already has the 1 on 3, and then it's wanting to single always shopping in the next leg, I'm guessing, looking at that, and then spread a little bit in the last. So we have some decisions to make here on what are we going to do in the last and the next leg. Anything before we go to race 13?
I think I'm good on that. I think this is a 2-horse race. If the 1 doesn't break and go to the lead, I think it's the 3's race to lose. And so we'll have to see. It's okay. It's once again, it's a lot of uncertainty that we're going to find out on Saturday. And that's the beauty and the craziness that drives us nuts with 3-year-olds.
Yeah.
They change weekly.
Well, and that may be what they were thinking on Conlima. I mean, they're getting a perfect spot here with the pace. I mean, they really are the sole pace
and the draw.
Going to send from the rail. And so, yeah. All right. Well, always shopping in the 13th, going 11 furlongs, coming off a bit of a layoff. I think second off the layoff. Yep. No, not really a layoff. Just had a little bit of a break. A great horse. Irad again. I didn't know, though, about singling always shopping here. I had a bit of a question mark. What were your thoughts?
Sure. And whenever you're going 1 mile 3/8 on the turf, there's always going to be some question marks. The one that always shopping answers for me is that I've done this before, and I can win going a distance. She won 1.5 miles in the Raw Proviant going at Gulfstream on January 23rd. So has had about a 2 month of a break, and I think she's going to be fresh and ready to fire. I was more or less looking for horses that I'm going to use underneath in the Xpressbet contest this weekend. And I found a couple that I really liked. Our girl Chris Stahl, the 6, was one that's going to have some late kick. And I don't like her to win, but I do like her to hit the board because it's just so hard to close at Gulfstream when you're coming from that far back. I also liked the 10, Sister Hanan. Now this one, it's an interesting one because it's a 10-1 morning line. You get Lannery, who I didn't speak very highly of in the last race because of the draw. And so I think that this horse has a devastating turn of foot. And so I just think that this horse is kind of waiting for the right setup and might appreciate the longer distances. And so she hasn't embarrassed herself. She's ran a 3rd and a 4th, going 1 mile 3/16 and 1.5 miles. And so this one hits it right in the square between the eyes with that distance. So I love a trifecta or an exacta, including Sister Hanan and Cristal underneath of Always Shopping. The other horse that I think may be the second choice is the 5, Sorel. And I'm going to give her a race before I'm ready to put her on my ticket because a lot of times when you see these Europeans or these horses coming over from France or Ireland, they prefer a more forgiving surface. When we have a good track here in America, it's a firm track overseas. Some of our yielding tracks would probably be listed as firm over there across the pond. And so you also have to think about, why are they moving the horse over to America? Maybe they think the horse is going to appreciate a little bit firmer of a turf. That's also the kind of the other side of the coin there. I think a lot of these horses need a race, especially if they're not coming out of the Chad Brown barn overseas and win right, first of all. I think this horse, the Sorel, is one to watch for Clement up at Saratoga this summer.
So race SOR here for viewers, 72. I thought that the 7 Top GSR, it has, Delta Kingdom. She's gone long quite a few times, though. Can she step it up? I don't think so. I mean, can she improve? Probably not. So then I looked at the 1. The 1, you're getting a really good increase in GSR here. So this Warlike Goddess wants to go long. 4-year-old filly, Mott, Leparoux. Alvarado's not riding for Mott, though. So I don't love that.
Maybe I am landing on that loving always shopping. I saw you talked the 6, we talked the 10. Morning Molly, 5-year-old mare. She might run here. I mean, well, I don't know. Ain't gonna want the distance, maybe. Well, we are singling always shopping then, unless you think anything else. Like I all of a sudden I don't see how we're beating always shopping here actually. So always shopping is my single.
I think always shopping in the entire card, that is the most likely single. And so I'm confident in that single. You're not going to get 8-5. You're probably going to get odds on. And so a single in a multi-race sequence is probably the way to use this horse. And I don't think we should try to beat this one. I think we were trying to beat some other vulnerable favorites earlier in the card. And so let's go ahead and single and take a look at what we can get. It looks like we can use 4 horses in the Florida Derby. Are you crazy?
Let's go. Love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We are just over an hour and 5 minutes, man. We're going to get this in about an hour and 10. Yeah, Jeffrey said don't sleep on Warlock Goddess. Loves the 1 in that race. Just to step back there, I get it. I mean, very lightly raced filly. Always shopping. She's quite the horse. You are getting she's going to go long again. She wants to go long when you look at GSR Plus. I get it. I don't mind where's Alvarado riding? He's not riding for Mott. He is riding for Mott on Delta's Kingdom the 7. So maybe he gets his choice and decides on the 7 there. Jeffrey, though, I hear you there. I think we don't really know yet. Didn't run great here, but maybe had a tough trip in the grade 3 there. It's second off the layoff though, so I get it. We're singling always shopping. What do you think here? Florida Derby. I kind of I didn't really know what to do, and so landed on a horse, but only because of watching the horse last time, and I didn't like him, and all of a sudden won great. So I'm like, well, I guess that's my horse. But what do you think here?
Do you know who really throws a wrench in this race for me? Baffert. What are you doing? I don't think he's ever has he ever ran in the Florida Derby before?
I don't know.
You got this horse Spielberg, and I played this horse the first 3 times he ran, and I think he went 0 for 3. Yeah, it took him 4 tries to break his maiden. I divorced this horse after he ran in the American Pharoah at Santa Anita. I said, never again. Sorry. Now I'm like, oh my gosh, did you see he lost to Essential Quality at the Southwest at Oaklawn out of nowhere? I mean, that race was out of left field. Nobody bet Spielberg that day. And now Bob's like, well, okay. Well, I got Concert Tour. I got Medina Spirit. He's got this other horse named Triple Tap, apparently, that who knows, he might even send him to New York. What are they doing with this horse? I want nothing to do with the 10, and that's why it scares me. And so if I look and see how this race, pace makes the race is the old saying, and how this 10 trips out, the 10 actually gets the trip. And so that's what scares me. My top pick in this race is the 9 Collaborate. They're calling this horse the Moose down at Gulfstream Park. Apparently, this horse is massive, and he's very lightly raced off of 2 starts. You get Safi Joseph Jr., Tyler Gaffleone, and something happened during that last race. And the horse just absolutely blew it open by 12.5 lengths. And now they're pointing this for a Derby prep. And then if this goes well, the Kentucky Derby, obviously. Is this Safi's best horse? I think you could make an argument for it. And the works were incredible. And this is kind of the sleeper horse. Everybody's got some buzz and everybody's talking about this horse. We've been talking to a lot of people in the industry, and everybody's mentioning Collaborate on Saturday. And so when I'm like, okay, this horse has shown that it does want to go out and grab the lead. Is anybody fast enough to go with this horse? And there is one horse that I believe is fast enough, and that is the 8 Soup and Sandwich. This is the horse that could potentially ruin the race for Collaborate. This is a sprinter that's going to go route for the first time. And typically when we see that, you show speed because you're so used to sprinting 6 furlongs, 5 furlongs. Now this horse has to go 9, and this one's going to show speed. Does it grab the lead from the 9, or can the 9 clear? If the 9 clears, I think the 9 can win the race. I think Greatest Honor, has been fantastic in his last 2 starts and has had an amazing late turn of foot. But when you're betting a horse or using a horse that has to come from 6 or 7 back, and I'm not just talking 6 or 7 lengths, I'm talking has to pass 6 or 7 horses, there's a potential for some trip trouble. And so is Greatest Honor the class of the field, the best horse in this race? Quite possibly, yes. Do I want a single Greatest Honor? Absolutely not. I want to beat this horse. And I think we have an opportunity to do it if Collaborate can clear. So I really like the 9. I do not want to get beat by the 7. I don't know what to do with the 10 because it's Baffert. He's never done this before. And it seems like I have a hard time getting on the right side of him as well. And then you got Known Agenda, the 5. This is Ortiz for Pletcher. And Ortiz is off the 8 Soup and Sandwich for Cassie. And this was kind of one of those average Todd Pletcher horses. I really wasn't impressed until his last race, where he blew the socks off the field in that 9 furlong allowance race. And there's something about a horse just absolutely crushing at a distance that he's proven at and trying it again. So if this was me, let me know what you think, Justin. But if we have the opportunity to go 4 deep, I would use the 5, the 7, the 9, and the 10.
Yeah, I mean, the ticket generator, you're supposed to make small tweaks to it, which we did. Like, we tweaked it. We're not even changing this now. It's the 5, 7, 9, 10. That's what it told us. That's what we're using.
Perfect.
Like,
oh, great. I didn't even see it.
we were able to go 4 deep, and that's who it told us to pick. So that's who we're taking.
Yeah.
Thanks, Keith. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Jeffrey. Thanks for joining us. Apologies to the EquinEdge crew for going live. That wasn't expected. You guys all got a special, supposed to be taped, but you got us live. I'm with you here. Greatest Honor, I was against in the last race, and I know Scotty was not. And I watched this race a lot. I've watched it a handful of times, and I think that Greatest Honor, he's still learning. I really do. I think he's improving still. I think that Greatest Honor may be our Derby favorite coming out of this race, to be honest. I may be wrong. Greatest Honor may not run. It's going to be hard, I think, with I don't – have we heard his Life is Good out of the Derby, or have we not quite heard yet? Obviously not running.
Life is Good is off the Triple Crown Trail.
Yeah,
so
okay.
Now you have Concert Tour that's probably going to be getting the most attention. And so I expect Bob to ship him out to Oakland again for the Arkansas Derby. He'll probably keep the Funded and Medina Spirit around for the Santa Anita Derby next weekend, which I'll be attending. So we might be doing a show from Santa Anita next week. Who knows?
I love it. And we obviously have Essential Quality. I love Midnight Bourbon, as everybody knows, with my Derby future pick. I think it's going to be a tough one, but I loved watching him run last weekend. I think Greatest Honor, though, is, the thing that I love about Greatest Honor, too, is as a 2-year-old, did run 4 races and did take a few times to win, but did win and is, to me, really improving, still growing mentally as a horse. Shug, Jose, as you said, we have Irad, Known Agenda here. We don't really know what's going to happen. I get it with Collaborate. I'm excited to watch Collaborate run. We made it easy, man. An hour 10 for the show.
That's not bad.
Over, maybe.
That's not
we got
bad.
through 14 races.
With Greatest Honor, it's his running style for me. I think that he could win this race and win it maybe pretty handily if he gets some pace up front again. But if you look at the speed at those races that he's won, it hasn't been that impressive. He beat a sprinter last time for Saffie Joseph that drained the clock horse. And so, Saffie's bringing that horse back to go 1 turn. And so if I'm looking at a horse that's going to compete in the Kentucky Derby, I've got to be somewhat forwardly placed or also have some tactical speed. And so this horse is more like a Code of Honor type for me. And, who knows? It could be like a Met Mile winner or something like that.
All right. Thanks, everybody. There's the pick 5 to close it out. Let's hit it again. We've hit 2 of 3 pick 5s. I think the first one was about $300. The one last week was 1,133. I think I remember.
It's not bad. So we're trending well. So this one ought to be okay.
We're gonna probably have to beat Greatest Honor. We'll get Always Shopping, and we'll get a couple other prices. We'll get maybe Crazy Beautiful can beat Cone Lima, or maybe we catch a couple prices in the first couple legs. I mean, let's just get it home again. That's all that matters. But it was awesome. You're at home. You're gonna play the tourney this weekend, right? You're playing the tourney from
Yes.
home. Okay.
I'll be playing the Xpressbet tourney from home. We're having a Florida Derby party with the boys. And so we're going to be having fun, making pizzas, buffalo dip, and trying to hammer out some of our strongest opinions. And so, yeah, this kind of starts the 3-week tour. We got Florida Derby this weekend, and then I'll be out in Santa Anita playing the contest for Santa Anita Derby weekend live. And then we'll be at Keeneland the week after that. So, my goodness, I mean, this is going to be a great 3 weeks, and we've been, all cooped up inside since, Pegasus. I'm ready to get back out to the track again.
Yeah, and have fun. Good luck. I'll be following along. Like, I wish I could join you. I got a busy few weeks. I got my boys both a couple of the weekends. I was actually hoping to maybe try to make Keeneland. I haven't been, but it's not going to jive with the schedule. But thanks. That was great. Mo, yeah, I'll post them. I'm going to try to be better about posting these for people, but I'll post our early pick 5, middle pick 4, our late pick 5. You asked for the Facebook page. I'll put them out there. I'll tweet them for viewers as well. But good luck, brother. I want to see.
Thank you.
Let's pull this one out. You have you and Scotty be first and second again. I would love to see it.
Yeah.
But good luck, and it was fun. I'm glad we got to go through it.
Thank you. Likewise, brother. Looking forward to doing it next weekend out west. So hopefully we've got some good things to talk about after some winning tickets and some contests.
All right. Have a good weekend.
All right. You too. Good luck, guys.
Bye. Thanks, viewers.